everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking Atlanta Season 3, Episode 5, Cancer Attack. So, let's talk.
Get off the stage!
So, Cancer Attack, the 5th episode of Season 3 of Atlanta, initially aired on April 14, 2022. And this is another episode that doesn't feature Van, played by Zazie Beetz, in it, which for me was very disappointing. I actually thought that we were going to start getting some more answers on what her character is doing this season, but we didn't. It feels like they're kind of leaning more towards this new character of Socks being a big part of what this season is heading toward. And I gotta be honest, I'm not a big fan of this character. He was introduced 2 episodes ago, and I don't know what he is doing. He plays a big part in this episode, actually, and everything that's going on. It turns out that he actually is the cause of everything that happens in this episode. This episode revolves around Ern, Darius, and Alfred. They're at a concert in Europe somewhere. They're pretty popular where they are. You can see in the beginning of the episode, Alfred is meeting with fans. One of them has cancer, so he's doing kind of meeting with his family's there. He's meeting with them having cancer and everything like that. Darius and Ern are kind of doing their own thing. They're kind of in their own mind. Darius has a really funny storyline going on where he has the blueprints to the building and he just wants to go around and investigate the building. That's what he wants to do the most. It's actually really funny. I actually thought that Lakeith Stanfield in this episode was hysterical. Between that and how he's disappointed he is when they actually end up not doing that, or when Paperboy's about to take the stage, he's doing that dance. It was so funny. Lakeith Stanfield really killed it for me in this episode. The sweatshirt that he's wearing is great. I mean, who doesn't it looks like a Christmas sweatshirt. I really wish that more people wore sweatshirts like that. I feel like they kind of fell out of style, but that's a story for another day. And also in this episode, we don't get any more answers on what Van is doing. We only see that it's been 6 days since they have even spoken, or since Ern has even heard from Van, so it's pretty upsetting that we don't know what exactly she is doing and what her and Ern's relationship is right now. We only really saw her in the 2nd episode. That was the only episode so far this season where we've gotten, I feel like a full Van episode. So that's kind of upsetting because she's one of my favorite characters on the show. But the rest of the episode is still really good. It's still a solid Atlanta episode. I really think that the person who's carrying this episode the most is Brian Tyree Henry's character of Alfred. He really has, I feel like, the emotional beats of this episode, which is, we've seen this before in Season 2 and Season 1, where it really shows that, despite how successful he is or how successful he has become, he still feels very lonely. And I really think that that is one of the best things that makes this character one of the best on the show. Yes, he is very funny. I have said before on this channel that I think he is the comic relief to a lot of stuff, him and Lakeith Stanfield. But he does have his episodes where you really feel for him. And I think that with the camera work in this episode, they really were trying to illustrate to you how lonely he really is. There's 3 shots in this episode where he is in the center or to the right of the frame, and the shot is a wide shot in a big square room, and he's all alone in these rooms. The 3rd shot, he isn't alone, but it's pretty much on him, and there's a mirror on the ceiling, so it shows him reflecting down on himself. So that really illustrates to me about how he's feeling, or how he explains to the kid Wiley in this episode that he recorded everything on his phone, so that's why his phone would mean something to him, because after 7 months he hasn't been able to write a song. So you could just tell that he is working through some stuff, and this episode is trying to show us what he is working through all these different events that are happening around him, including having his phone stolen by this character of Wiley, or at least as we thought the character of Wiley stole his phone, and we learned at the very end of this episode, it turns out it was Socks. So we actually don't know what Socks' motivation is for stealing his phone. I'm still trying to figure that out myself, because he's acting way over the top about the phone being stolen to begin with. I don't know if he has some kind of vendetta against Paperboy or what his deal is, because he somehow got involved with these. He just kind of got in the bus a couple episodes ago and has been just riding with them ever since. And I'm not too sure what his motivation is for being around these guys, other than that they seem very annoyed by him, so I'm not really too sure why they even keep him around or what his purpose really is for them. As far as everything else goes, there are some great acting in this episode. As always, all 3 of our main leads in this episode play their parts perfectly here. There's some funny There was some really funny stuff in this episode, some real laugh out loud stuff. Actually, one of the biggest laughs I ever got in the entire show is in this episode when the kid asks him to call up a phone number and they bleep it out. Brian Tyree Henry's Alfred just slams down on the table. That's my fucking phone, man, and just goes after him. The first time I watched it, I died. I thought that was hysterical. I loved it. I really thought that was so funny. I couldn't move past it for a little while. I actually had to pause it because I was like, I did not expect a laugh out loud moment like that to come out of nowhere. It really just threw me off. Also, it was so awkward when Ern's character goes up to the kid with cancer and they said he had a cancer attack. I just couldn't move past the fact he still had to go look for the phone. He still is so professional. He had to still go do his job no matter what, realizing that this kid probably didn't take it and it's gonna look real bad in front of his parents and paramedics that he's looking under a kid with cancer under his hat and everything to see, did he take his phone? And I love he goes back in the room and Alfred's like, could have told you, man, he didn't take that phone. I guess he trusted him more than than he trusted Wiley, because it really did seem like Wiley took the phone, everything that they set up, which really raised a lot of questions about Wiley. Like, how does he actually know everything that was on his phone? Yeah, he said he listened to his mixtape, but he said he had unreleased stuff on his phone, but yet Wiley somehow knew stuff on the phone, so I don't know if maybe Socks and Wiley are working together, if there's some kind of thing going on there, because it's definitely very strange. This character, Wiley, is a strange dude. I love the fact that he's like, he's 19, his uncle says. No, I'm 32. It's like, the uncle's a little off too. I love that these characters are always surrounded in these areas with some weird people, which I guess the show's trying to tell you. There's a lot of weird people in this world, because some of the, between that guy and the guy Wiley, the guy Socks, I would be out. I'm just not going to deal with people like that. They're freaking me out. They're making me uncomfortable. So I can only imagine what our leads are feeling like around these guys. But other than that, it was a pretty good episode. It is definitely not my favorite episode of the season so far. I would probably say it's actually, out of the 5, it's probably in like the bottom 2 episodes of this season thus far. Like I said, I would really like to get more answers on Van. There's 10 episodes in this season. We're now 5 episodes through, so they're still laying out, I guess, a lot of setup, and I'm hoping that we get a lot of answers in the next few episodes. I don't want to have to wait until the end of the season to find out everything that's going on. I'm still enjoying the journey that we're on with these characters. I still love Atlanta. It's still one of my favorite shows on TV, and this episode was no different. It just didn't live up to last week's episode or the episode before it. I feel like this is kind of like a little bit of a downer to those 2 episodes. So just take that for what you will. Maybe you like this one more than me, maybe you didn't. I still got some stuff out of it, but hey, in the comments section below, please tell me what you guys got out of this episode. Did you analyze something that I didn't analyze correctly? Please let me know, and as always guys, please, if you like this video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and tell all your friends.